when I researched about your journey, or when I read about your journey, it felt like a book.
At sharp 8:30, my phone automatically switches off all the social media, Gmail, WhatsApp, Instagram, even the messages app.
Tell a few of the hesitated parts of your work.
If you think something new you're creating, then probably you have not read enough. Just don't be in that bubble and always read a lot of books in your genre.
The people who don't have their mentors, or whoever is watching this podcast, what would you like to suggest them?
Be humble and be coachable to find a good mentor. In your early years of your life, your mentor will dictate a lot of your life.
So, being India's best seller, to receiving Kalamveer Chakra Award, and being on the TEDx speaker, how did the journey feels like?
One day I woke up and then I just saw the sun shining. Constant YouTube, binge watching. My mentor actually used this word called Neechta.
Namaste and welcome to another edition of Kalamveer, a podcast by Mayoor School, Siliguri, where we explore the minds and missions of those shaping our world with words, wisdom, and wonder. I am your host, Kritika. Today we have with us someone whose story isn't just inspiring, it's quietly revolutionary. Sanjay Lunia is known widely as the world's youngest book publisher, a title recognized by both the World Book of Records and the India Book of Records. But titles aside, what truly sets him apart is the grace and grit with which he has nurtured storytelling at scale, from editing over 10 best-selling titles to mentoring more than 1,000 aspiring writers, each with a voice waiting to be heard. He is the chairman of Jito Kuntur Youth Wing. He is a recipient of the prestigious Kalamveer Chakra Award 2021 in association with the United Nations and iCongo, and has shared his vision on TEDx platforms including TEDx Bharatinagar and TEDx Pita. He's been honored with an honorary doctorate by MBR and featured among India's top 100 teachers and coaches by Fox News International. Beyond the accolades, recognitions from BNI, JITO, and even on international industry platforms, Sanjay remains grounded in every single belief that every story matters, and the more importantly, that every person has a story worth telling. So today, we are honored to sit down with someone who's not just building books, but also building bridges between voices and visibility. Welcome to Kalamveer, Sanjay. It's a real honor to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Kritika, for inviting me to your podcast session. And I'm humbled and I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you. So, before we start, I would like to say something like your journey. When I researched about your journey, or when I read about your journey, it felt like a book, a story. For your biography, and to introduce a few of your first chapters, how could you introduce yourself?
I'm humbled and I'm very happy of that specific compliment that you just landed on with. I think first few chapters of my life have been filled with a lot of struggling, pain, and suffering.
Okay. Okay. How did you cope up with that?
Uh, I see a lot of people asked me this, and I don't have a good I don't have a like a well bit answer for this. I just say that one day I woke up and then I just saw the sun shining, and that changed my life.
Oh, wow. Yeah, even the smallest of the smallest things can, give the kick to start new things.
True. I mean, at that stage of my life, I was going through depression, and I was in a very bad mental state because of few things in my life related to friendships and everything. And when people ask me how did you come out of it, I don't know how I came out of it. And I think a lot of survivors would just say that we never know how we come out of it. It's just that one day you just see the sun shining, and you're like, yeah.
Okay. So, being India's best seller, to receiving Karmaveer Chakra Award, and being on a TEDx speaker. How did the journey feels like, and how do you maintain the hustle and killing journey?
Yeah. So initially, when I was being given the awards and accolades, there was a the balance in the hormonal glands, so that I would feel very excited and very happy and everything. But over the time, after one accolade after the other, I think I got habituated to maintain the calmness and the serenity. So oftentimes, what happens is that when TEDx, just it was a huge thing for me when I was a small kid. I remember I took the picture and then I put it in my vision board and then I ensured that I become a TEDx speaker. So a few things early on in my life made me feel intimidated, but now since it has become a part of my lifestyle, so I'm more calm and composed. And for this, I think the biggest help that it had done to me is nutrition and
Okay. Okay, good sleep. As in, what is the time you sleep?
yeah, so I have a sleep routine. So before going to the bed, I have Brahmi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brahmi along with water, and then I have chamomile tea.
Okay.
It's sharp 8:30. My phone automatically switches off all the social media, Gmail, WhatsApp, Instagram, even the messages app. So I'm inaccessible after 8:30 or 9 p.m. probably. And then I'm only accessible on the phone call if it's too urgent that someone would actually ring me up. The next day morning at around 9:30 10 is when I get access to all those apps. Okay. So this is the way I protect my sanity and I sleep.
Exactly, because these days, youths telling, because I'm also one of them. And sometimes I tend to have the feeling of, scrolling reels till, I don't know, I forget the time also. I don't see the time also, 1, 2, or maybe 3. This, this is not only harming the physical thing, but also the mental well-being.
My mentor actually used this word called nichta. Okay. So my mentor has this habit of, I hate this word. Okay. I don't like this word called nichta. So nichta basically means falling down, and it's like falling down of your existing stature or position. So any habit that I built, and if my mentor has an objection, then he says, Sanjay, ye to nichta hai. And the time I listen to that word, I'm like, okay, this has to be cancelled off. And that's how I'm still protected from the scrolling and, YouTube, constant YouTube binge watching, because my mentor always says, "Ki ye to niche tha hai, Sanjay, this is not taking you anywhere."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what are things like you have your mentor, but the people who don't have their mentors, or whoever is watching this podcast, what would you like to suggest them? How would overcome the habit of scrolling, like haywirely scrolling, because our eyes are tired, our brain is numb. I can feel that.
Brain rot.
I can feel that bed rotting. It numbs my brain so much that I can't think beyond that anything. And then the sound of the reels, it just, hums again and again.
First part of the question, be humble and be coachable to find a good mentor. In your early years of your life, your mentor will dictate a lot of your life. So select a mentor. Be humble, irrespective of your father's a billionaire or a millionaire or anyone of any power or stature. You, as a teenager or a young kid, must be humble and coachable. You must be open to suggestions. That's when you will find a guru or a mentor.
Yes.
The second part of the question, brain rot. So basically, it's rotting your brain with all these artificial dopamine releasing things. Okay, so I'll give you an example of sugar as well. Okay, so a lot of people are addicted to sugar. When we talk about our ancestors, they used to find sugar hanging on the trees in the form of fruits, natural sugar, right? And to reach to that fruit, they had to do some hard work. Correct. But today, I can just get a toffee at like 5 rupees or something, and then the same dopamine receptors are being targeted. But here there's no work done, and there's a lot of work done at that time. So scrolling also does that similar thing to us. But we innately have this feeling that we want to explore a lot, know more, because we are all curious. Human beings are curious, and I love that. But this curiosity shouldn't be put in the wrong place, is what I mean.
Yes.
Yes? So there had to be a psychological change in your brain that this is not taking me anywhere. Me scrolling for 2 hours or even watching a podcast is not taking me anywhere. So your primary source of information or knowledge should not be media, should not be YouTube, should not be your gram. It should be books.
Books. Yes, obviously you are a publisher.
I know I'm not, like being as a publisher, I promoting books, but for the man.
Exactly, exactly. So, Sanjay, you have been an entrepreneur, you have been a publisher, biographer, and writer. Writing has been you. Like Sanjay without writing is not Sanjay, I believe. True. And host writing is also one of the fortes you have been pursuing. So, people do have some myths that host writers do not exist, they are not real. They are just generated through some apps or through some softwares, and then they are just being used like ChatGPT. But then it's not the case. So how do you want to burst the myths?
Yeah. So see, ghostwriters are real. Many a times they signed NDA or a non-disclosure agreement with the author.
Yes.
So they are not allowed to reveal onto the books that they have worked in public. In case if the NDA is not signed, then they can publicly tell. And on a lot of books, you would find that there is the name of the author and they've written with some other person. Like Kareena Kapoor Khan's Pregnancy Bible. So it is Kareena Kapoor Khan with the ghostwriter. So ghostwriters have been in the industry since too long. The reason being that is that not everyone has the time and the luxury to write a book, right? And coming to the second part of the question, that ghostwriters, AI, when we talk about AI, what happens in this domain is that when you pay less, when you don't pay, at par at what the industry standards are in the West, you pay peanuts, that you only get peanuts.
Exactly.
Right? So here what actually defines a book, AI, not AI is irrelevant in 2025. I'm okay with the AI content. I'm okay with anything and everything till it hooks the attention of the audience.
Okay.
Till it hooks the attention of the readers. Till then it's all fine. But when you say about, AI and all, I feel that those who are using AI and, trying to write books, if you are able to find or detect that it's AI written, it's not the right usage of AI.
Okay.
But AI can be an enabler,
Yes.
helping you to sharply focus upon the book, craft, and ensure that the voice is well mentioned, well maintained, and balanced.
Okay.
So, using AI is not wrong. And it's as this question is also kind of in 2025. I think we have to rethink that why is AI being boycotted? We all have to celebrate
Yes.
that AI is now capable, that writers have half of their work done already. Like we have our custom GPTs in our company where I have my own custom GPT. So I've written like a good 150 pages. We put that into our intellectual property, and we get a good writing of mine. I mean, it feels as if I have written it.
Okay.
And all I have to do is just go for editing, maybe edit it, and ensure it's more human. See, I think editors, my role as an editor has increased a lot, rather than actually writing. But to be clear, so what the process goes on is that I have to frame the draft, which is usually done by the junior writer. So they generate a draft, a rough draft. Mind you, I'm a biologist, but sure, it's all about facts and chronological order. Post which we use a little bit of AI to ensure that we are doing deep research. Post which we have the content done, and then comes the editorial part. So editorial part is where we add emotions and we make it more human, stuff like that. So nothing against AI, all for the AI, and writers who don't embrace AI
Yes.
are not going to exist in next 5 years.
Exactly. Exactly. And what is your take on the Ghibli trend going on?
Uh, Ghibli trend might sound controversial,
Yes.
but I have a little I believe that the environment, it has caused a lot of damage to the environment, because each time you generate a Ghibli art photo just for fun, lot of CPU energy is used and lot of resources are being used. So there had been CPU meltdowns as well at a few places.
Okay.
And apart from that, I think the artist also allegedly said that his entire life's hard work is being, is on a trial.
Yes.
I believe that AI should be celebrated. And if the AI is able to, and everyone knows and realizes and can recognize that it's done by AI. So there's no problem with the artist, feeling that way. The second thing, the artist must actually feel good and, must feel actually proud that, they have inspired an entire AI ecosystem, the entire AI ecosystem to create something that they have been the father of.
Okay.
So the father of the Ghibli art will be always be that artist. The child, I mean, might be the AI.
Exactly. And it will be always, always remembered as the Ghibli art studio study, not as AI, something, the name which has been given by AI.
Correct, correct. So now when we talk about the father is always going to be the artist who has done that. Uh, there is Albert Einstein, and he has done a lot of mathematical equations that now possibly ChatGPT can do.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we totally neglect Albert Einstein's contribution, right? We will always credit him for his good work,
Exactly.
and that's how the greatest people in the history are remembered,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's so, quite enriching and eye-opening to our audiences too, whoever is watching. So, talking about trend thing, the Instagram thing, who do you follow? What influences do you follow, or what visions or ideas you follow, or philosophy you follow? It's not just Instagram followers. It's also about who do you follow.
Understood. So to be clear with Instagram, in my screen time of entire week when I'm at office or when I'm at my place is just 12 to 15 minutes. Entire week, the time of using Instagram. So there's no way I get hold of anyone's statuses or posts. It is just that I check the DMs and then I close it ASAP. When it comes to following, I recently have this new awakening that is, I only follow spiritual leaders who are no more. Being a biographer, since I meet a lot of celebrities and a lot of politicians and a lot of influential people, I somehow believe that still someone is alive as a spiritual leader. It is better, not to, get into their words or, to get into their cult. But if once the person departs, then you know that there is nothing more coming up. So that's a legacy that has been lived well, and you know that there's no controversy or not controversial opinions coming up, and you will not face that constant doubt as long is this leader real, or is this leader or the spiritual guru true, or is he really helpful. And when those who have already gone, they have the good rich philosophy. I mean, between 1950s to 2000 years, and that a lot of philosophers have gone, a lot of spiritual leaders have gone, because at that time it was one of the most prevalent way of hooking up the audience and ensuring that the mass participation is very high. Today it's a little low, but at that time was since there was no other distraction, so the spiritual leaders had more time contemplating and thinking and spending time in nature, whereas today's spiritual leaders are all busy with their Instagram reels, going everywhere and just wanting their interviews to be done with all the famous people and celebrities.
That was very fast. But still, like, who do you follow? Osho. Okay. What is the best thing you like about Osho's vision?
Yeah, he emphasizes on living in present,
Okay. Wow.
and that itself is very powerful.
Yes.
We humans always want to time travel, either in the past or in the future. Kal kya hoga, kal kya hua. So these two questions are what always tampers our pain. And Osho always says, live in present. Kya lena dena? Kisi se kya lena dena? I just come on the planet, stay for a few years, then depart.
Very, eye-opening for me. Okay. So about your writing career, you have been the bestseller. What is the process you follow to write a book? Like, what is the space, or what is the mood? What is the tone? How do you contemplate the writing process?
So, I follow three C's of writing, which I learned from Dan Brown, the author of Da Vinci Code, during the COVID period. So, he mentored me along with Shani Raja from Sri Lanka. So, their courses were running during the COVID time, and I took their courses. So, there's three C's of writing. There's a clock, contract, and crucible. So, clock is basically the time that is behind the plot, and the contract is basically what hero and the villain promises to do or not to do certain things. And there is crucible where the hero and the villain give it inevitably. So this is the core philosophy that I follow while I'm writing. And you see all the stories that have survived the test of time. You see millions of stories are being written every single year. But then why only 10, 15 stories land up in the curriculum or it will land up into children's textbooks or say into the libraries and also into the best-selling charts? Because they follow this unknowingly or unknowingly. So these, and when you talk about the zone, I think I prefer writing when there is no noise and I like a little dim environment. I don't like a very bright environment for the writing. And often it's a retreat to some other place where I'm not in touch of any human.
You would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you listen to any of the podcasts?
I'm untouched. I have not gone through any podcast as of now because my mentor again used the same word. So,
But you should watch this.
who's?
Ours podcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would.
Yeah. So, Sanjay, you have trained 1,000 plus students and coached them about storytelling. So, what is in next 5 years, what is the scenario of storytelling in India?
It is getting better and better every single day. We all consume Instagram reels like crazy. When I say we all, obviously not me, but almost everyone does. So that is the shortest form of storytelling. So you see, you're booked to the reels which have a good story. It might be emotionally appealing, it might be disturbing, or it might be something that is sensitive. It's all part of a grander storytelling. It's only getting better. You just need to adapt to the right format.
Okay, okay. And amidst all of your success, amidst all of your accolades and a lot of celebrations going each and every day with you, how do you stay grounded and humbled? How do you calm yourself? It's overwhelming, responses from your guides, your mentors, people who love your work.
There's a saying by Mira Pai, जहाँ बिठा गए तिही बैठू बेचे तो बिक जाओ मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर बार बार बलि जाओ. So it roughly translates into, where the God makes me sit, I will sit there, and if he sells me, I'm always relieved, not only in this lifetime, but in all the following subsequent lifetimes. So I completely surrender myself to the higher power and universe. I don't let anything be controlled around me, and I let the universe dance around. So when you know that you're not doing anything, you're just a character. It's all done by the Almighty. You just can't do anything. Just sit and contemplate to move a leaf from the ground. It will not happen. It needs Almighty's strength, the air, or anything, right? I think that constant reminder that as soon as I wake up, these four lines are what I remind myself. And anytime when I'm overwhelmed with success, or say, success obviously reaches your brain sometimes, I remind the same lines to myself. That's Sanjay. This is not you that have achieved anything and everything. It's the Almighty who has used as a vessel, who used you as a vessel to accomplish the things. This thought keeps me grounded. The second thing is that I ensure that if I have, obviously we live in a world where we sometimes have to be rude, or we have to be sometimes demanding. And so whenever I hurt someone, I ensure that after a certain amount of time, within that day, I ensure I apologize if I'm wrong, or if I use wrong words. And this is a habit that I follow, that before I go to bed, I have to ensure that if tomorrow morning I don't wake up, I don't have the regret of the words be untold or unsaid. And these are the things that keep me grounded. be connected with the thought that one day I'm just gonna depart. There's going to be no Sanjay Lunia. There's gonna be worse than Sanjay Lunia, and there's no more. And that thought keeps me grounded and helps me to also look at other human beings as humans. Because at some times what happens is that when people are successful, they forget and they do not treat other people well, especially the ones who are a little lower than their stature. And that defines success, or that really defines success, the way you actually treat someone who is below you with humility, with respect, and with due humbleness.
Okay, that's the inspiring words from your end. Uh, and also, you are 22. You are a biographer. Being a biographer, how does your day look like? Tell me the most, hesitated instances where you would not want to speak, but I am in the position to ask you, like, can you tell a few of the hesitated parts of your work?
See, I can't go directly to this question because that would lead to a lot of issues. I'll give you a small metaphor. A human being is writing their old age in his youthful day. Yes. So, when we talk about, when I write biographies, especially for older people, they come across sharing their problems to be inevitably. And they always want that sympathy factor or a pity factor. But then when I listen to their stories, which they express only their side of the story, they hide everything that is not supporting their narrative or agenda. But when you get as a biographer, we do the research, and when we talk to other people, then they give an accurate picture as to how this person was during his young age. So if they are suffering now from anything or anything, it's because in the youthful days, they might have done wrong to Zach. Or it might also be the previous life's karmic debt, which is an easy escape, which, I know in this psychology is an escape because see, Kritika, if you would have done a drawing yesterday, and if you have done a drawing today, and if you show me a drawing today, ask me a review, and if I say, kal wala acha tha, the first thing that will come in your mind is that, nahi yaar, aaj ka to minda tha. But you will not, appreciate yourself कि कल का तो अच्छा था, कल भी तो मैं ही किया था. The same psychology goes with people who believe in this theory. Karmic पहले के जन्म का है. कल किया तो people are like, yeah, it's excusable. What a point. It's a deeper spiritual metaphor.
Okay, deep. It's very deep. Like when we dig into it, we will. It's not ending.
I request the audience you watch this entire thing at least twice so that they get into what the metaphor exactly means.
Okay. So traveling all the way from Vijayawada to Siliguri, what are the differences of the mind of the people you feel like?
We are all Indians and we have similar set of mind. But the key difference I think I find is here more people are into arts and commerce and everything. And there is a lot of sciences and doctorate and accounting and everything. Here people are more free, people are more the society is a little less conservative. The society is a little open here, whereas there the society is conservative. And I wouldn't, want to give any reason for the same because I'll explain you the historical narrative. So what happened is that in the history, the north part of India had been invaded by a lot of kings from the outside, correct? So they have to constantly be ready for adapting and for change. So consciously, the north side and basically the northeast side, the Siliguri, and the people around it are open to change. But in the south side, when we talk about Chola, Chera, and Pandyas, the empires, so they fought with each other. So there was no other invader coming inside and fighting, except for the Portuguese who eventually came. But for a long time, they only had like these three people fighting with each other. So there is no exposure to the foreign culture there, right? So people are more conservative. Here people are like a little accepting, hesitant to accept in first, but then slowly they accept. There we need to, ensure that, we give the right reasons why we need to accept some traditional change. Apart from that, the food, I think it's spicier there. It's a little less spicier here.
Okay.
Yeah, because Vijayawada and Guntur is known for spices, mirchi, and This is an very funny incident that when my aunt was actually living at Rajasthan, and when she got married and she came to our place, she didn't knew that there's a difference in the intensity of the chili. So in the where she lived was around Jalore in Rajasthan. So there she used to use 5 chilies on in the pola, and we used 5 chilies for an entire week.
Okay.
Okay, it's so she didn't knew that there's a difference, and then she put that into the food. The first time she made poha, she put five chilies inside it, and everyone was like, "Damn, she made us cry on the birthday cake." You today me chuckle about the same.
Okay. So, how did you like the poha here? Have you had the Arabi?
I always ensure that I have the local food. So I think your dim sums
Okay.
and then actually someone made me eat something of potato and some red sauce and potato. Uh, it's like a soup, the red sauce with the potato pieces inside it, well cooked.
Okay. Tiki aludam?
Yeah, it's a Nepali dish.
Yeah.
What is
Achuta. Okay.
and it was nice.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Aju. Potato. I am thinking,
That's red in color.
yeah. Yeah, that is alum dum. That is authentic Nepali.
Yeah, and then I've also tried
Tupat.
tukpa,
Yes.
and I'm a person who would obviously want to go with the local delicacy rather than taking to idli dosa.
Okay. 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 So also talking about the, writing and reading scenario here and there, do you find any difference?
I will not be able to comment on this question because I've not really spent a lot of time in Siliguri. I've been here like for 5, 7 days, only till now. To understand the reading culture, I think it's difficult for me unless I connect with a local publisher.
But do you think like India as a whole, what is the percentage? Like what kind of people read, or do people really read the book kind of thing, like paper book kind of thing, or they just research on?
Many bold statement. Top 1% of the wealthiest in India.
Okay.
So you decide which part you want to be.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, like, the research things, a lot of, art and culture is also coming a lot. And then when we look at the startups also, they are also reading. So do you think that India is moving towards the reading culture, or
It is definitely because what's happening is that there is, a stark difference between this Gen Z generation we have. There's one who is extremely conscious about their health and their mindset and their spirituality and everything. And there's this one set which we shouldn't discuss about, which is, frugal and which, not frugal exactly, but which is, not that, a self-aware. So the self-aware audience is more to reading, consuming good books. No matter whatever book you read, it is important that you read. With at the age of 25, I might not be right on this because I'm no academician to speak about this, but I read it in a book that after 25, 26 years of the age, your brain starts freezing some parts of your memory. So if you don't learn every day, if you don't read every day, slowly you lose the ability to change. And that is a big nightmare. Because last 10 years, you see, read didn't exist. 100 years, last 100 years, internet didn't exist. Last 150 years, flights didn't exist. So whole of the humanity, if you take, we exist as humans, the existence lasts 40,000 years on a planet. We got the flight or the first flight of 120 years ago or something. After that, within 60 years, we were on the moon. You see the progression.
yes?
The science in the progression. So, coming back to the point, what I wanted to ensure is that read. When you read, you unlock a lot of cognitive abilities. And if you're in your 20s, 22, 23, the best thing that you can do to your brain is learn a new language. Learning a new language will make you more humble, will make you more open to ideas, because India is a country of too many languages, and language is just not a language. Language carries the culture, the heritage, the parampara, the tradition, everything in it. So when we talk about Tamil, or when we talk about Telugu or Punjabi or Marathi or Gujarati, it's not only the language, it's the type of traditions that they follow, it's the type of the culture that they follow, it's the type of, it's all totally different, right? India in itself are like, a lot of small country-like structures inside the country itself. It's very diverse in nature. So when you learn a language, you get accustomed to their cultures, to their rich heritage, and you understand it better. And it's obviously better for your cognitive ability. You'll be able to remember more, you'll be able to speak more confidently, because a lot of languages have these words called and all these things. Okay, in the south, it is actually prevalent. So if you don't, use it at the right time, if you don't learn it at the right time, you actually lose the ability to speak those letters. Lots of people find to be very difficult.
Yes.
It's it's not ra, it's
So
yeah.
okay, or that is more South Indian.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how we celebrate the diversity of the languages, right? There is
Okay.
with a tongue rolling inside your mouth. Okay, how?
How many languages do you actually?
As a polyglot, I know 5 languages.
Okay.
Yes, Telugu, Tamil, English, Hindi, Marwari. In Tamil, I'm not that fluent, but I go to tuition every.
Okay. When I pronounce Tamil, it's Tamil. But when you pronounce Tamil, it's different.
It's Tamil.
Tamil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Tamil. It's not Tamil. It's not Tamil. It's Tamil. There's no word for
Okay.
Where you would find in Tamil Nadu, lots of places you would find the letters called ZHA.
Okay.
That's pronounced as yeah.
Okay. We just have to rule our
Tongue and
Tongue.
say
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that. And I love that about the language. Because it helps me unlock and, use my, the God-gifted throat chakra. It's its fullest potential.
Okay. So, at what age you published your first book?
At the age of 16?
60. Yes. So, for the young writers or young aspiring, story writers or storytellers, what suggestions or what are the things you want to tell to them, which you have done and which you did not liked about it? So, what are the corrections you would want to suggest them?
First thing is hire a good editor, a book editor. I think I didn't hire a book editor, because of which my book had a lot of errors, punctuation errors. Hopefully I was young, and on the pretext of being young, all my mistakes were forgiven. But if a writer who is at the age of 22, 23 does a similar mistake, I think the society would be a little harsh on them. Hire a good book editor, no matter AI, blah, 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 don't use it all. Just hire a human book editor. I can't emphasize on the importance. They'll help you throughout the journey. Second thing is, pick a niche. So don't get into everything and anything. And don't think that you're writing something that is new and that thing that, oh, this category doesn't exist, I'm building a new category. No, my dear friend, you have not read enough. That's the reason why you feel it's new. So there's a difference. So when you are not read enough, you feel your idea is new. But Kritika, there are 7 billion people on the planet. And we have been existing at least 5 billion collectively since 2010.
Yes.
How do you think something new can be produced this time? So it's nothing new can be produced. It's just conversion of one format to the other. This is Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, Ram Leela by Sanjay Lunia Jain. Seems okay. And then you find a few style citizens similar from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Similar story being carried. Dhadak, I think, is a movie, a Hindi movie.
It is a movie.
Yeah, Sairat or Dhadak. It's like Sairat.
Sairat is a Maharashtrian version,
Marathi.
a Marathi version, and this Dhadak is
Hindi.
Hindi.
So what are these? These are just forms of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Right. So if you think something new you are creating, then probably you have not read enough. So just don't be in that bubble, and always read a lot of books in your genre. If you're writing historical fiction, read a lot of it. Writing romance, read a lot of it. Apart from that, have a good hold on sciences. Because India as a country has lot of what you call it, still a superstition beliefs and things that probably science has ensured that it is not verified that it is not true. So as a writer, having a strong hold on science will actually help you to write thrillers because not many are aware of things and how things work, right? So someone who is a scientist, for him to solve Shakespeare's or sorry, um, Sherlock's cases would be easier than someone who is not, because then you know the chemicals and you know how the things work and how the traces are left. If you're planning to write a thriller, be good at science, especially criminal science.
Okay. So Sanjay, you have been a writer. Writer as in, you have been contemplating art. And also you are an entrepreneur too. And art and entrepreneurship are two parallel things. But without art, entrepreneurship will not sustain. And without entrepreneurship, art will not sustain. How do you balance both of this?
My work is an amalgamation of both of these things, so they complement each other. So, being a good artist and an entrepreneur, I'm blessed with these two gifts, and I utilize it to the full. So, for me, it's never that I have to pick one and lose one. For me, it's always have helped me or enabled me as an entrepreneur to do something different, to always be unique, or to have that signature movement or a signature style. Because then, as an entrepreneur, it's important for me to promote myself as well and to ensure that the right kind of people reach out to me and we get about that. But when it comes to art, then when I'm working with someone, I just forget about finances. I mean, even now, I mean, I just don't care about them. I'm like, yeah, my accountant or the auditor looks about it. So I don't know how much is in, how much is out. I just know this is my allowance, this is what I want to do. So for me, it's an enabler, and entrepreneurship and finances are just an free energy. It's just free energy. That's it. It's nothing more than that. Because a lot of people contemplate on this. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. This. And a lot of online gurus also use this thing, right? You have like drop shipping industry. You have like a course, like stock market, this, that. Oh my God, what not? Sit with yourself. Ask yourself this question. Will I be happy drop shipping random projects till the age of 60? So think about it. And then you will know. And then you will know that you have to use your art and entrepreneurship in the right way possible, not get distracted by just people who can't make quick bucks of that.
Okay. It was so nice, enriching, and inspiring conversation having with you. Thank you so much for having your insightful thoughts and ideas sharing with us today at Kalamveer. We are very glad that we could host you.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Once again, I am very happy that you invited me and you found me worthy of the podcast. I'm grateful with the Mayoor School and Mayoor School Siliguri and the team behind the same, Aditya and also you, the post. Very grateful. You have been amazing friends, and I couldn't wait to make more methods.
Thank you so much.